Hello Gemini, this is Don with Sonoran Mystic Tarot, and this is your weekly reading for the week of March 7th through the 13th. Thank you for stopping in. Week 2 already of March, can you imagine? This is a general reading for the collective. Take what resonates with you, leave the rest behind. Additionally, there are scammers around and they are sending people information, emails, contacts, and all kinds of other stuff, asking for payments for readings and so forth. If you receive something saying they are from me or Sonoran Mystic Tarot, I assure you they are not. I do not solicit readings. I do private readings for people, but they usually contact me. They always contact me, and then I respond. So if you haven't contacted me for a private reading, and yet you receive something saying about a private reading, it's not me. Do not respond. Do not just delete it, report it, whatever, but don't respond to it, and never give anybody money. Again, if you want free readings, I give a ton of them on Wednesday evenings and Thursday mornings here on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitch. So Lord knows you have enough free opportunities. With that said, I'm going to get right to it. This is, again, the collective reading for Gemini for the week of March 7th through 13th. The overall energy for the reading is going to be the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Cups. That is on the bottom of the deck. And so that the overall energy tells you the reading itself and the general concept of how it is. When you see the Knight of Cups is telling you specifically that this is a time of moving forward toward happiness. So I don't know if the week and the past 2 weeks or whatever have been a little bit discomforting for you, or maybe even upsetting or trying or whatever. But the good part is that this reading is going to be leading you to a happier time, a time of maybe a break, maybe of something happening that will give you a little bit of hope and happiness, and that's always a good thing to find. The very first card, and this card is what, of course, embodies you and the energy for you this week, and that is the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands. I can see why I can see why you're moving on to happiness, because you're coming into this week with strife and struggle and conflict. That Five of Wands is conflict, and it could be conflict at work. It could be an internal conflict you're having with yourself. Maybe something's going on and you're not exactly sure how to handle it. It could be a conflict at home, but there's conflict in your life, and that conflict is getting to you. But I love the fact that this makes this so much even happier, because it tells you that you're moving on through that, and you're moving. So you're coming in with this, but by the time the week is over, that is going to be eradicated. Love this Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands, a lot of things in the air, and that's probably what's adding to that conflict. Some of that conflict could also be, again, work-related or work-at-home life split relationship issue conflict. In other words, what I'm saying there, and I was a bit cryptic even when I said, I'm like, what the hell? But what I'm saying is it could be the fact that work is taking a lot out of you, and it's not leaving a lot of time for home, and therefore there could be a conflict in the situation with so much to do that the home life is paying a price, and that's the conflict. That's a potential. We'll find out more as we move along, because the cards will tell the story. The next thing is the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords. Page of Swords. Pages usually indicate news is coming in, so that's an interesting story. We're going to see what that means. And the final card in that first row is the Four of Swords. So you got some sword energy in there. That Four of Swords is telling you that it's time to rest. By the time the weekend gets here, you're going to need to rest. You're going to need to rest. But the good part is you're resting in knowing that you're moving toward a happier time. Underneath that Five of Wands, which again is that conflict energy, is the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles. I'm loving that, because in tarot, as a reminder, some of you probably have heard this from me too many times, and it's like, well, not again. But here we go. In tarot, the Ace starts the process. The 8 starts a cycle, and then the 10 ends a cycle. So when you see the Ace, it tells you something new is coming. Usually it's around the 10, or a 10 is around an Ace. But it tells you that something new is starting, a new cycle, starting a new idea, a new concept, a new happy feeling, a new whatever, depending on which suit it is. And then the 2 is like get planning, and the 3s tend to get going. With the 9, the 9s are like an inventory of, okay, where are we before we conclude the cycle? And the 10 is like the cycle is finishing. So it's a closure. So in this situation, again, we're seeing closure. We're seeing closure coming here. And that's good, because, again, moving toward happiness. And if you're coming in with conflict, then you do have to bring closure to the conflict. And this is right underneath the conflict. So, again, closure to the conflict. I'm loving that, loving that, loving that. The next card out is the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords, that's a warning energy right there. That warning, and we'll get deeper into all this and see how it relates. But anytime you see that Seven of Swords energy, that Seven of Swords energy is reminding you that either someone around you is not being honest with you, they're kind of cutting you in the back, or they're bringing you down, or they're doing something, talking negatively about you. They could be tearing you down to build themselves up, or somebody around you has using information that they don't necessarily know is inaccurate, but they're using it and therefore it reflects inaccurately upon you. And again, that's the Seven of Swords. So that's not a good energy to have, but that's part of that conflict situation. There's a Five of Cups. Five of Cups, which again, that Seven of Swords is bringing that pessimism, and that's the pessimism card, that 5. So that is not a surprise. And then there's the Emperor energy. The Emperor energy at the end of the reading, it's the last card in the spread. And that last card, Emperor energy, is saying you have the power to change all this. You got the power to keep moving. You have the power to bring about a change. And it's interesting when you see that and you see the Four of Swords, because it's underneath the Four of Swords, which is that rest energy. So all of a sudden it's like, you know what? You need to take control, get some rest, enjoy it, because and turn this thing around. And again, the overall energy is turning it around, which is wonderful. So with that said, this is a very complicated reading. Let's go back to the beginning and then we'll put it all together. Now that we understand each of the cards individually, let's see how they work as a whole for this reading. First of all, again, we're starting with this Five of Wands. And again, the Five of Wands is conflict. Now, you only have one other wand card in here. So this is not necessarily, even though wands are work-related, this is more about swords, cups, and swords and cups. Swords is ideas and thoughts, and cups are about happiness. And so this is not really work-related necessarily. This is a more of an internal conflict, or a conflict that that is a struggle inside you, and a struggle with somebody due to their relationship and due to happiness. And so apparently you're coming into this and you're having some issues at home. That's the point. You're having issues at home. Now, as I said earlier, there's a lot of stuff going on. So you have a lot of stuff at home and at work, and you're juggling so much. And so again, part of this is an internal strife with you, because you have so much to do, and some things have to give. And so some things don't get quite the treatment they should, and other things get a little more than they should probably. And then there's a conflict within your relationship, because it's like, okay, wait a minute, I come first, or no, do I come first, or do I come first? You know, does the business come first? Do the children come first if you have children? Does my spouse come first if I have a spouse? Does my significant other have whatever the situation? All of the people and things around you are competing for that one limited resource, which is time. And with all that you have to do, and you have to find a way to put that into some kind of perspective, and then figure out, how can we handle this? How can we move forward with this? One of the things that would suggest, by looking at this, is this Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles is saying, you know what, you're working toward the money. You're working toward getting your thing, and you're closing a cycle of money. Again, this could be a situation of money has kind of put the constraint on, because you're wanting to make as much money as you can while you can make the money. Or you're trying to balance your budget. You're trying to get out of debt, whatever the situation is. And so if that is your concern, and then you should be focusing on that as letting people know. Now, again, there's somebody behind you that's working against you. Somebody's talking you down, and as they talk you down, they create this animosity, which builds into this. Again, you are doing what you feel you have to do. You have the situation where you're faced with life as it is, and this person is kind of trying to spin it around and use it against you. What I would suggest is you keep moving forward. The next card, of course, in that thing in that series is the Five of Swords. And that Five of Swords is by the midweek, by later in the week, say around Thursday, Friday, you're going to see the swords drop, and you're going to see that the struggle is coming to, you're getting the struggle under control. You figured out how to navigate the waters. You figured out how to create the balance. Is it coming up with a list and prioritizing the list, and then sharing that list and saying, look, these are the things we have to do. These are the things that come in this order. And if you're with somebody, if you have a significant other, a special person, a spouse, then say, okay, help me figure out if I need to adjust these, which maybe should be the right, which maybe should be the wrong, and then make those adjustments as required. The other card is that the Four of Swords. And so the Four of Swords, now that you've put this to rest, it's time to relax. It's time to take a little bit of a break and to give yourself some time off. And that's going to help, again, to recharge your batteries and become the emperor that you are. Control the power that you are, and be putting this into a position where now you can enter the next week in a happier mode, in a happier way. Again, it's a lot of juggling there. You have been very pessimistic. That Five of Cups is very, very pessimistic. And that Five of Cups energy will wear on you. But don't worry, you've got this. Again, the Emperor says take control. And that's taking control, again, as part of that list. It's creating a list, taking control of your priorities, making sure that people are in the loop with those priorities, and therefore there are no surprises. Again, we do not want surprises. No, 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 no. Now I'm going to clarify a little bit here. There's that Devil. Again, that's that pessimistic energy. That's that Five of Cups. We got to keep that in check. Look at this. Again, this is that Five of Cups on Five of Cups. Again, pessimism. That's the key to this week, is that you're bringing the force is bringing you down. Force is pushing you down. Force is trying to make you unhappy, trying to keep you in that pessimism mode. Don't let it happen. Again, you have control over that. Be the fool. Walk in and say, you know what, I don't care. I'll just put it all behind me. I'm going to keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Don't listen to a damn thing people are telling you. Move on. Move on. I'm loving this. You've already planted the seeds. You've done a lot of work already. Again, this is not something that's new. You're pushing forward. The Justice card's like, if you do the work, you're going to get the benefit from it. Again, you're going to see the benefit from putting forth that effort. So just keep pushing forward. Be patient because the money is changing around. Again, you're back, you're getting your finances in order. You're getting your finances where you wanted them to be. And that's why you're bringing that closure, because again, that closure is bringing the closure of the cycle with a financial situation. Again, this is how you've been feeling. Is like, hey, I can't make a right decision. No matter what I do, it's always wrong. Why is it? No matter what I do, it's not the right choice. Well, it is. Again, this is something that you've been working on for a while. So sometimes the decisions seem to pile up in the wrong, but they ultimately will go right. You'll see it, and you will ultimately celebrate. This is celebration with family and friends. Again, so you're getting over that conflict. This is a great reading. This is a great reading. It tells you that you're coming in the week with problems. You're coming in the week with issues. By end of the week, it's going to be resolved. By the weekend, you're going to rest. You're going to be happy. And you're moving into the next week in a very, very positive way. I'm liking this read, Gemini, and I hope things work well for you. While they're working well for you, hit that subscribe button down below on that YouTube site there. And also hit that little icon bell. And it's a reminder. With that said, I'm going to let you go for now. Join us next week for another weekly, and then watch for the monthlies as they appear as well. And with that said, also, don't forget, we do free tarot card readings, individual tarot card readings, on Wednesday evenings and Thursday mornings, starting 7 p.m. Mountain Time on the evenings of Wednesday, and 8 a.m. Mountain Time on Thursdays. We'll see you then. Hopefully you can join us and get your free reading there. Take care. Bye-bye.